Hello and welcome back to The Scoop, where you get the insight about the athletics here at Peters Township High School. I'm your host, Sydney Pendergast, and today we will be informed about the mental preparation for golf with the head coach of the Peters Township girls golf team, Mr. Lawrence. Mr. Lawrence has been a teacher here at the high school for 9 years and has been coaching the golf team for 4 years. With his own knowledge and experience, he is able to share information about the sport. So, can you tell me how golf differs from any other sport?
Definitely the difference comes in the intensity of the match. I coach basketball also. In a basketball game, things are flying around, you're screaming, yelling. When it comes to golf, you're sending your girls out on a golf course, and the intensity's there, but it's so much calmer, and the girls have more mental struggles, and they have to deal with the bad shots, deal with the good shots, and that really changes the way that you coach. It's not a hands-on experience. It's much more of a management and helping girls deal with the way their round is going.
And how would you say the golf is more mental than physical?
Yeah, it's definitely a mental game. I mean, physical helps by no means. The girls, we still work out. We want to get bigger, stronger, that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, mental toughness and dealing with adversity is what's going to make you a really good golfer. You're going to have bad shots. It's going to happen, especially young golfers. You're going to have maybe even a bad shot each hole. It's what do you do with that bad shot and being able to put it behind you and make the next one a good shot. Get yourself out of that hole, because it's all about a consistent swing, striking the ball consistently and putting it where you want to put it.
How are you able to teach that to the players?
I put them in a lot of situations in practice, and then also not even on the golf course, to help them with that mental adversity. Just, when we're working out, when we're practicing on the range, we put them in situations that create a little bit of stress. I don't want them to practice super comfortably. I don't want it to just be easy, show up, hit the ball around a couple times and go home. I want to put them in a situation where they're going to have to deal with some stress, deal with some expectations, and then have to move on from any bad shot they have, and also move on from a good shot they had. You can't sit around and celebrate it too long.
And how do you coach a practice?
It's all about management more, putting girls in situations to work on their areas where they need improvement. We definitely will break up into groups. You have girls on the putting green working on putting, reading greens, that sort of thing, chipping. Their short game, I say that's probably where we spend most of our time. But we also go to the range, hit the ball, and really something that we want to do, especially moving forward, I want to do more of, is getting that on our home course, practicing on our course so we have more of a home field advantage.
How do you coach a game a match?
A match,
yeah.
It's okay. It's more like I said, I'm out there making sure the girls have what they need. I'm only allowed to talk to them from green to tee. So when they're playing a hole, I can't even talk to them other than you go. Awesome. Good job, girl. Nice hit. I'm not allowed to do anything but encourage. So really the biggest thing that I think I do is I look for signs, body language, that sort of thing in my girls. And after a hole, I might call them over and just say, how's it going? Talk to them a minute, take their mind off of it. Or some of the girls like to be challenged, like to be pushed. It's really knowing your players and knowing what they need and just giving that a little bit of encouragement. I mean, there's not too much you can tell somebody in the middle of a round that's going to save the round. It's going to be up to them, and they're relying on their practice and their training and believing in themselves.
How do you physically prepare your players for the matches?
We do off-season training. Mr. Kuhn, who's the boys coach, he's run a golf academy for years. A lot of my girls are involved in that. And they do physical training as well as game training. Also, when you look at the girls also have a lot of swing coaches. They go and see them. They see the swing coaches to improve their game, that sort of thing. One thing I like to bring to the table is being a coach that's coached a lot of other sports like basketball and football. I like to bring some physical workouts, getting stronger, and to me also mentally stronger. It's not it's not about building muscle necessarily, but having a stronger core so that you can swing consistently at the same level, endurance so that you can carry your bag the entire round. I mean, you have to walk. We don't ride golf carts. You have to walk and you have to carry your bag. I mean, that could be physically draining, especially on a hot day, to be able to swing your club consistently the same way every round.
How do you physically prepare your players during the off season?
We do a training program. The thing I'm changing this year is going to be new for us. Is I'm bringing in my wife, who's a personal trainer. She's the girls lacrosse coach here at Peters. She's a certified personal trainer, and she knows a lot more about girls' fitness than I do. All right, so one of the things is, I do a lot for other sports of weight training. That's I don't think that's really necessarily appropriate as much for the golf atmosphere. So she's going to come in and she's going to help these girls get more physical, get stronger, more tone, so they can endure the entire round. It's more of an endurance thing. And then also I'm really excited about it because there's one thing I cannot offer my girls. I cannot be a positive female encouragement or a role model. It's just not going to happen. So I'm excited to bring that into them and have that positive female role model for them to be around.
What do you usually look for during the tryouts or any of the matches?
Well, we're pretty objective. I mean, it's your score is your average is your average. I'm looking for outside of what you're scoring. Definitely your body language is a huge sign to me. I want girls that can handle a bad shot and move on to the next one. And then also be a model of that to their teammates, especially the upperclassmen girls. How do you handle yourself on the course? Taking your good shots, taking your bad shots, what do you do with them? And that body language that you show. Because if you're having a bad round, it can be a real grind, and you'll see it on the girl's face. And how do they deal with that adversity is really what I look for, outside of what your score is.
How would you recommend one of the freshman players or something to move up to varsity?
The most important thing is bringing your score down. All right, the best way to do that is drill and practice, all right, and, getting out and playing. A lot of our girls have, swing coaches and that sort of thing, and that's a great way to do it. I mean, obviously that's a financial commitment that's outside of the district. So it's always positive to do that, but it's not necessary. You don't have to do it. You can meet together with the girls, you got out and play. Obviously, girls want to get together with me. I can give them a hand. That's what I'm here for. Really want to encourage them to play, deal with their good rounds, enjoy their good rounds, learn from their bad rounds, and just get physically stronger and mentally stronger.
How do you encourage that for the team, as a whole?
One of the things I like to do is we're going to have a team golf league in the off season, and I want to bring back alumni and have girls that are in middle school that want to play, our girls, bring back the alumni, have them all together and play in a league where they're competing against each other and really in a fun, positive manner. So that way they're out there playing at least 10, 15 rounds from May until we start tryouts in mid-August. I mean, that's getting out there once a week is really a good way to do it, because only by playing consistently and a large amount can you really start to see signs of improvement. If you're just going to show up and hope that your score is going to drop by 5 strokes, it's not going to happen. Sitting on your couch is probably going to add strokes more than anything.
So how do you recommend the training? What do you recommend for it?
What I recommend is coming to our off-season workouts, which we're going to be starting here in a couple weeks. Making me and my assistant coach and a swing coach, if you were to have one, a part of your training program. One of the things is most of these girls don't have enough experience to just do it themselves. You need to bring an expert in, somebody that can help you. All right, that could be, for some of these girls, have excellent players that are parents. It could be your parent that's going to help you. It could be a swing coach. It could be myself, Mr. Kuhn, Mr. Lacey, my assistant coach. You just have to go out and find somebody to help you learn the game. So it's really hard to teach it to yourself. And then on top of that, like I said, coming to our workouts to get stronger, and then being a part of our off-season league and getting out and playing with your teammates, who will be your teammates. And that's going to help you out as well. I think our girls offer each other a lot to learn.
So with all of this training, how do you see the team in the future?
We're really young right now. We have a lot of experience to catch up on. We had a really, really good team for the 4 years leading up to this year. This year we had a little bit of a down year as far as our record is concerned. I look at it, we had a ton of improvement. So to me, I look at that. That's what matters. But record-wise, we were down a bit this year. And I think that's just due to youth and inexperience on the course. I'm really excited about our future. We have some really talented freshmen coming in. We had a very talented freshman who was our #1 from the beginning to end last year, Ellen McRoberts. She was our #1 golfer the entire season. That doesn't happen very often for freshmen. I think the last person to do that was a girl by the name of Mia Kness, who won a state title. All right, so I'm really excited about that, and hopefully, You know, we're going to see that improvement in our record. I definitely expect to see improvement in our players, and I really think we can compete for this section this year.
How was the team different without the superstar Mia Kness?
I think that, you know, it's not a whole lot. She was a great leader. She taught so much to her teammates about the things that don't have to do with your score. Obviously, there was a change in the wins and losses with our scores. I mean, everybody knew that was going to happen walking into the season. It's hard to replace somebody that averages par. All right, it's very, very difficult to do that. But I think her legacy, more than anything, is what she taught the girls, the mentality, the desire to get better, and also just the way she carried herself. She was the picture of mental toughness on a golf course. You never knew if she was having a good round or a bad round. And Mr. Farrell was her main coach. He coached her for her 4 years, and I was the assistant coach at that time. And what always impressed me about Mia was when she turned in her scorecard, she walked up to you and she handed it to you, and then she walked away. She could have a 32, she could have a 42. It didn't matter. She could have the round of her life or the worst round of the year. Every round was treated as, this is my job, I'm going to take care of business, and that really was the epitome of her mental toughness.
Well, thank you, Mr. Lawrence. We're going to cut to a break, but we'll be back shortly to get more information about golf.
I'm Naomi Judd, and I love my dogs. But disasters like hurricanes and floods and tornadoes can leave pets and other animals injured, abandoned, or lost. American Humane Association's Red Star Rescue has been there when disaster strikes. To learn how you can protect your entire family, go to AmericanHumane.org.
Welcome back. So, why did you choose to coach golf?
I got bamboozled. No, basically about 4 years ago, Mr. Farrell, who, like I said, was the girls' coach for a number of years before myself, he called me. He needed help. Mr. Farrell and I are friends anyways, and we played golf together a lot, and he called me, and he had a huge class coming in. He had 9 girls coming in as sophomores, and he wanted to start a JV program. And he just asked me, would I be willing to dedicate the time? And at that time, I would have been a volunteer. And I said, you know, that sounds a great opportunity. I love golf, really enjoy it. I love coaching, you know, and really coaching girls golf here at Peters. And the girls are great. They're so nice, sweet, kind girls that I said, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And I got stuck, you know, and it was a lot of fun. You know, those years we were going to states as a team. We were going, you know, Mia went to states all 4 years she was here. It was a lot of success, really sucked me in. Really, really enjoy it now. The golf community here at Peters is real strong, great family. So that's kind of how it got. Now I'm still here.
So what is your philosophy for coaching golf?
My philosophy really in any kind of coaching is it's all about teaching girls or guys or whoever the importance of dedicating yourself and sacrificing yourself to accomplish a goal, especially a team goal. I think that's what people learn from sports. Winning, losing, great. That's awesome if you can win. If you lose, that stinks. But you know, you're still going to have a great learning experience in sports, especially in golf, of what can I accomplish if I dedicate myself and I'm willing to give of myself for that goal. So I'm really big with all my players of establishing not only a team goal, but what are your personal goals? And what are you going to do to achieve it every single day?
So how do you plan on improving your coaching from year to year?
The biggest thing for me is I'm looking to improve my knowledge of the game. I did not play golf until I graduated from college. You know, I come from a basketball family. That's what we did. We played football. We played basketball. My dad, up until his retirement, you know, golf he kind of laughed at. You know, was like, oh, look, that's not a sport. You know, now he's the most avid golfer I've ever met in my life. And to me, I got into it then, fell in love with it, really put a lot of effort to it, learned a ton. Coaching, I've learned a ton, and just continuing to be able to help my girls improve their game, and especially those girls that are fine-tuning, like a girl like Ella who's shooting so well. What can I do to help her beyond just the mental aspect?
So why did you continue with golf?
I like doing it. The girls were great. You know, I didn't want to. You know, Mr. Farrell, Brian, he decided that he wanted to step down, and I wanted to keep that continuity. We had something good going. And, you know, I really wanted those girls to have the continuity. Nothing changed, really. You know, Brian and I have very similar style, philosophy, and belief. So I wanted to keep that going for the girls, keep that continuity, and then also give myself the personal challenge. I've never been a head coach before. You know, I've done a lot of coaching, but it was an opportunity to be the guy, and I really wanted to challenge myself.
So how have you like set goals throughout your coaching experience?
I set goals for myself as a coach, obviously, but I set goals in a team level. And then when it comes to the girls individually, my goals don't necessarily align with, you know, shaving this many strokes or shaving that many strokes. I look at a bit more of an objective style of saying, I want to see this girl, a subjective style. I want to see this girl improve mentally. I want to see her grind out her average when she's having a bad day, like just those little mental toughness things. And then really my big goals I set for the team are, let's, you know, compete for this section and let's be at the WPIAL playoffs. We should be in the WPIAL playoffs every year. We have that talent. That's where we need to be. And then finally, just helping see those girls understand my philosophy and hopefully embrace it.
How have your goals that you set for yourself, how have they helped the team?
I like to think so. I hope so. You know, the girls are such sweethearts. They're so thankful. They take so much time to thank me. You know, and I just feel kind of silly sometimes when I'm like, well, thank you. I mean, you're working so hard. They seem so open to what I'm telling them to do, and they want to do those things. And I think they're getting across. I believe that my coaching is getting across to them. And I really think that this year, next year, as we're getting a little bit older, so we're really young right now, we're going to see the fruits of that.
And how are you challenged throughout, like, coaching golf?
The challenge is continuing the success. We have such a tradition of success here with both our boys and girls golf programs. It's a lot of standard to live up to, and I don't want to be the guy that can't live up to it. You know, so I want to make sure that we're still keep things going and continuing with positive records moving forward.
So how have you like challenged your team as like a whole?
I look at them and I challenge them to get out and get better. You know, I want to see them doing things to make them better golfers. That might not always mean shaving strokes. That means becoming a more consistent golfer. You know, maybe your average is bogey. You're a bogey golfer. And maybe that doesn't change this year. But now you're a bogey golfer because you shot bogey every day, not because you shot you know, par one day and double bogey the other day. Like so that consistency could be what we look for. It could be 4 shaving strokes off of your average, so that you become a better scorer in the course.
And how are you able to decipher like players' like strengths and weaknesses?
Oh, it's very obvious. Golf is such an honest sport. You can't hide.
Yeah.
All right. I sit there and I watch the girls play, and I travel around. You know, usually they're in a pack, and I travel around the course and I watch them play. I watch them practice. I know what they're good at. I know what they struggle with. I have the girls keep track of where their strokes are happening. Are your strokes on the green? Or are you adding 5 strokes in putting? Or are you, because you can't get the ball up to the green in time? In those areas, and we look at that and say, how can we improve it? And those are our areas of focus and practice.
How do players like different skills like help the team?
It's one of the things is every girl has a strong suit. Unfortunately, in golf, it's kind of hard to isolate that, to let that girl just focus on what she's really good at, because they have to put their course, their score on the scorecard. They don't get to work together in that sense. So it's really about putting them in positions to help them succeed. A girl that's very, you know, especially experienced girl that's mentally tough, putting her against a younger girl from the other team and just being able to compete that. Or a girl that's very mentally tough, she might not be our number 1, but let's put her against their number 1 so that when that girl's going and scoring really, really well, she can handle that better than maybe this other girl that is still young and learning to focus on her own game.
And how do you encourage that to players?
It's just always talking to them. I do a lot of talking, pulling them aside in individual conversations, talking to them as a team, making sure they're enjoying themselves, and make sure they believe in themselves. You know, that's really one of the most important things. You have to believe that you can do it, and making sure that they know I believe in them.
And so, like, there's seniors. Some of them like get scholarships, like how Mia Kness did last year. How do you assist like the players that?
Really it's talking to their coaches or the coaches that are recruiting them, getting their names out there. We really do that as a team effort. Mr. Kuhn helps a lot with that. Our athletic department helps a lot with that. The girls' parents and their family play a big role. What colleges do they want to go to? And we get those scores out to them. The biggest thing that I'll be doing is talking to those coaches, telling them what kind of player these girls are. What can they expect from them? Will they be good fits for their team?
All right, well, that's all we have for today. Thank you, Mr. Lawrence, for coming on the show, and thank you for sharing information about golf so we were able to understand the mental and physical parts of it. We also learned about the team as a whole and how they train in the season. And lastly, we learned about the ethics that Mr. Lawrence puts in making coaching golf fun and enjoyable for everyone. Thank you, and make sure to tune in to the next episode of The Scoop.